Hi, this is Kathy Goodwin, and I specialize in real copywriting, which is about making you and your business look not just good, but great. So today I've been asked to take a look at an article and some marketing materials by a business coach named Nancy Lowell. Now, I've met Nancy. She's in Philadelphia. She's extremely sharp and on the ball, and yet her marketing materials just don't reflect how good she is. So let's see what we can do about this. First, her e-zine. This is how I got to know Nancy and her marketing materials a little more. First, here's what she's got. An e-zine title is How Does Your Business Grow? Now, I'm not sure this is a bad title. It's evocative and but it's a question. I would suggest coming up with a benefit and maybe something a little stronger. But this is not bad. If people like this and resonate, that's great. What I would do here in the sidebar is have everything left justified. The only thing that should ever be centered in copy is the title and the headline. But in this case, this is so narrow. You might want to think about that. Nancy's very smart. She's got something about herself. If you're going to use HTML, you might as well have a picture or some graphics in here to make it look more attractive and resonate with your market. She says, I work with successful business owners who want to get more money, more time, more satisfaction. Well, that's really cool, but everyone says that. It sets her up to be a commodity. I do this too. I help people get more time and more money and more satisfaction by creating online marketing content. She says, if you've been putting off investing in yourself, this is where we are now down here. If you've been putting off investing in yourself and your business, why not invest 90 minutes in a conversation? Well, what's wrong with this picture? Very few business owners are sitting there thinking, I really need to invest more in myself. What they are thinking is, I'm going nuts. I haven't seen my family for 3 weeks. My business is growing, but it's not helping me. I have less time than ever. Or they're thinking, I'm working my butt off and I'm not seeing growth. These are the kinds of issues that I would suggest addressing here in a few sentences and maybe have a picture or a graphic. Now, it's good to have this at the top. This is her website. The date doesn't really have to be here, certainly not as prominently. And let's look at the title. Is Getting the Answers the Answer? That's a clever title, but it's cryptic. Remember that when you're dealing with people on the internet, they are skimming and scanning. Some of them are scamming, but most of them are scanning with an N. They won't take more than a second or two. And when they see this, it's like, well, this is like a philosophy class. I can hear someone say that. And I know this because I did this when I started out too. I had been a professor and all my articles were quite professorial and abstract. But what I would suggest is having a really urgent question or a comment. Questions are good for e-zines because questions in the subject line can sometimes attract attention. But let's look at what she says. She says, how often do you read a great book or article, see a great webinar or video with a really great content? Well, that's true, but that's not really something that people are going to get excited about. We don't know what's going on until we get down here where she says, if this happens to you, you're not alone. Someone could hand you the solution and you'd still struggle. In other words, she's saying getting information isn't what is going to make a difference in your business. What's going to make a difference in your business is getting information and then taking action. And she's saying for many business owners, what's holding them back from taking action is not being accountable. Now, what I would suggest is that she tie this in to her whole business goal of helping people save time, because it may not be that they need accountability. Maybe they're just so overwhelmed by their business they don't have time to implement any new ideas. So a really cool way to set this up would be 3 reasons you're not using, and then have some clever title about why you've got the information but you're not using it, and here are 3 reasons that are keeping you from growing your business with the information that you've already invested time and money to acquire. And so she also has a comment here about solopreneurs, but she told me that she wants to attract people who are earning $500,000 or more. Now, some solopreneurs are earning millions. That is absolutely true. But does she want to work with those people only, or does she want to work with companies? Because she's now referring to employees, and clients and customers. So I would be careful with that word, because that's targeting. Additionally, with this easy, one of the most basic things she could do is, since she's using HTML, make it look pretty. I mean, that's the whole reason. Otherwise, just use text. Lots of millionaire business owners use text easings, and they're just fine. I use text because people open it and read it. And what she needs to do is not bold and have space between the paragraphs and have a more catchy easy. Now, let's go on, though, and say, what is Nancy's fab factor? How could she make this even more powerful? Well, I looked at Nancy's about page on her website, and again, it's also very generic. Great picture, by the way, and she could use that on her e-zine as well. But would you like to get out of bed? I mean, are you looking for ways to make more money? Do you want to take the vacation? I mean, these are three quite different questions. They don't relate to each other. I would come up with 3 or 4 pull questions that are really powerful and really painful, and maybe that tie in, because getting out of bed energized is different, and maybe she could refer that to, if you had more time, you would get out of bed energized because you'd have time to sleep. But she needs to tie that in and take the vacation. So I would, a way to make more money while seeing your business grow and flourish, these seem to be the same things. So anyway, she needs to go through and do that. And these are awareness, education, and accountability are extremely vague. Articulate and visualize, also vague. We need to get these into 1-syllable words. So let's look for another clue here. As to how we can help Nancy. Let's look over here at Nancy's LinkedIn profile. I did some detective work and found that she got her education at the Culinary Institute of America, which is extremely impressive. I had not known that. It's down here. And then let's look up here. She had some very interesting jobs. She says she was a store team leader. And for some reason, this is listed a few times. I don't know why. I'd listed just once. And if there's a series of promotions, then she needs to make that very clear and have a clear resume. But, I thought store team leader. Okay, well, is that like, the guy who bags the groceries? There's 4 of them and one guy is the leader? No, I did, I would never have guessed it. But when I did some searching with Google, I found that at least at Whole Foods, the team leader reports to the store manager. The team leader actually runs a little business. The team leader is responsible for hiring, development, termination, and holding the team accountable for their work. That is really impressive. Then responsible for, look at this, profitability, expense control, packaging, inventory control, development, special projects. This is really, really strong. This is almost like having your own entrepreneurial sector. And in fact, one of the other things I found at Whole Foods is they encourage their team leaders to think like entrepreneurs. So Nancy needs to highlight that. She's also the owner-manager at Hungry Moon Restaurant, or has been. She's owned a business. She's met a payroll. She's managed cooks who are the most difficult people in the world to manage. She's been a chef manager at Tiffany, which is a name to drop. I don't know Lackman Food Service, but it's probably, she should tie it into a name I bet it's tied to some name we know. General Theological Seminary, another name to drop. And her culinary training, when I went to their website, it's the Culinary Institute of America, I found this quote from noted critic Craig Claiborne, who I believe is one of the top premier critics in the U.S. Almost every profession has outstanding training ground. The military has West Point, music has Juilliard, and the culinary arts has the Institute. I mean, come on, this should be featured front and center. It's a competitive place. She's used to working with elite people. She knows how to make things happen, and that's not apparent anywhere. Now, I don't know if she'd want to go to the extreme of saying, I'm a chef, for your business, I'll prepare a recipe for success. Would not be a bad thing to do, certainly in a talk that she's giving. She could tie that in, but she should certainly clarify what she does. So I'm very excited about this. I think this is really powerful, and I think she's got a lot to offer, and I hope she takes some of these suggestions. And again, I'm Kathy Goodwin, and my website is realcopywriting.com. Thank you for being with us today.